In this video, I'm going to show you how I produce complex beats. Alright, let's get right into it. So I have the entire beat right here with this very creative title. While the beat may end up sounding more complex after using these techniques, it's not necessarily harder to do. You're going to have some basic fundamental knowledge of your software, what you're working with, how to make a melody, how to make a drum beat. We're going to use those basic components to stack just a little bit differently than normal to end up with the final product sounding complex. First, I have 3 MIDI progressions right here. One is a chord progression. One's a melody. And then we have a counter melody on top of this. Next, I selected all these melodies, I bounced them in place. Doing this lets you turn your MIDI information into audio information. Essentially what we've done here is made our own sample. This is already helping the beat sound much more complicated because we're using our own melodies, chords, everything's made in-house. And so we're not taking some other sample from somebody else. We've actually done it ourselves, which is gonna make it sound unique, much more complicated. So now the cool thing is with an audio file, we can start treating it like a sample. So the first thing that I did was pitch it down. We had a little pitch bend at the end, and then I added a few effects on top of this. This is OTT, and then on top of this we actually have some beat breaker. And so this is actually adding a pattern and some rhythm into our sample. While we are making a complex sounding beat, nobody wants to hear a weird sounding beat. And there's a fine line between complex and weird. So what this beat breaker plugin is doing is it's really helping the sample sit into the mix, sit into the rhythm a lot better. Finally, I added some EQ and some stereo imaging so that the sample would start off sounding small, and then when the beat drops, it'd grow into a big full sound. That takes us into the next section of the beat. In a more simple beat, maybe I'll just be focused on one thing, but in a complex beat, what we can do is draw on sounds from different worlds. So for this beat, I had a picture in my mind of, it'd be kind of cool if there's like an orchestra in the background of this beat. As you get more and more practice writing melodies, it just kind of naturally will come out, so you just pick the right sound, and however you write melodies, just get quick at it, and that'll help the complex beats come out a little quicker. And then we got this sub bass with that. And this finally takes us into the beat. This is probably the one part of the production that is not complicated at all. And that's the final lesson in making complex beats, is you actually are going to need a simple element in the beat so that the complexness is contrasted with a nice simple element. And a very simple 808 pattern. I hope you learned a thing or two about how I produce complex beats. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but hopefully this was helpful for you. And if it was, you need to subscribe today because I am making a bunch of videos about music production. I just love this topic. Join me for the journey. Subscribe today. We'll see you next week. Peace.